Beneath this English soil lies energy. Down there, the sunlight of primeval time crumbles in the hand, and the forests of layered centuries that no men saw now crumble before our machines. Coal gave up its locked sunlight to make this England. Beneath our feet, yet level with the eyes of men whose casual mastery is born of knowledge, it still surrenders to us. Today, machines force their way through the broken forests, dragging down riches. But centuries ago, the brains and the hands, the picks and the shovels of Englishmen cut the first coal loose and brought us our first tons of black power. 900 years ago, men brought coal to the doors of the great monasteries and abbeys of the northeast. Sea coal that they found lying on the Durham shore. Coal from monks who nurtured our learning, shaped iron in their workshops with the heat of this old sunlight, and praised God in their lives. Here, where the Romans boundaried an empire, and the bitter tribesmen died, grey stone is carved, stands, and endures. Hexham, like all abbeys, holds a roof over our beginnings and sets a limit to our humanity in the divine image. Mounting these stairs, the tapers flickered with the light of a learning that was later to explode. Old woman, dead night, bright banner. Life and death. The piper with blown cheeks, the real face of another time on the grain of wood, and music. Music for saint and border raider. Music for us all. Sanctuary, the place of safety. The sudden miracle. The images of mankind groping towards greater understanding. The tall abbey has stood through centuries, its arched spaces of air warmed by the forests of an even older time. Coal still warms these stones and timbers, but coal controlled now by circuits that have left the old braziers of sea coal far behind. Here in the northeast, mining began with pick and shovel. It went on with pick and shovel for a long time. The kingdom of coal fed furnaces that made iron and steel. Iron and steel muscles brought out the coal to found our world.
And furthermore, Mr. President, sir, it is from the depths of history, from the cloisters, that our educational system has evolved. Although you may say that our deep historical roots are scarcely manifest in the labyrinthine maze of this building, with its suave and occasionally indelicately suggestive architectural lines. This is a radical building, designed for radical minds, set though it is within the more conservative shell of an older decade.
Radical, yes. 1,000 years from sea coal and the massive abbeys that husbanded our young learning behind their great walls, the Students' Union building at Newcastle University opens a door to the fastest moving future young eyes have ever looked upon. What the papers say each day spans the centuries of history, reaches back into prehistory, to the million-year-long formation of a coal seam. But what the papers say is not all. No generation has ever had to discover itself in the middle of so much that must be known, with no end in sight to accumulating knowledge.
One must learn to make judgments, form a sense of values, hold positions of responsibility, and this cannot be done solely in the lecture room or laboratory.
Fabulous, you know, having the university scarf, you'll be really something, you'll have achieved something in the eyes of everybody else. And then you get up here.
Så mandlar ni skalsmulor.
Ja, men vi har inga skalsmulor. Inte i England, jag förklarar det bara för babies.
I'm a Catholic. I find that religion forms the basis of my life.
Some chap couldn't get into university because a girl got here.
If you look a bit different, they stare at you and they don't like you.
More especially by people of your own age.
It's rather strange.
People of your own age working in jobs regard you as something queer, something funny.
You're standing on your own feet and you need a religion.
You're objecting to the fact that how are we going to get married soon?
You can come in here.
This chap's for the rag band.
Even if we get more money.
So the young search for themselves, and new buildings arise to house them, lighted and warmed by the same black power that roared in the monastery forge, now sealed and smoothed, nurtured and monitored by the instruments of a new age. The ages follow one another, and the stored energy of a planet's long circling has sustained men through them all. It has not been won easily. Winning it has made men, or winning it, men have made themselves. Thus, if they surface one day and work distant coal through fingertips on buttons, they will have carried a quality up with them that no age can afford to despise. Miners who once worked with pick and shovel now live in a technical age, an age of hard training for all men who handle machines. And their coal warms the buildings where the future grows, technical colleges where new skills are learned. In the West Notts Technical College, old engines, museum pieces now, still proudly move. Another time pulsates, so that the students of today may learn from it and make it redundant.
It's not every technical college that's out in the open country. Here you can see green fields and trees all around. This technical college system is a great improvement on the school system. There's a lot more freedom. I think once you've got used to the idea of freedom and settled down to it, it's a lot easier to get on.
It's a trial and error period, really. You can test things out for the office. You can try different hairstyles and makeup. The hairdressing department especially give you a lot of help with cheap washing sets for 3 shillings.
Started coming to school when I was 25. Really taking school serious after I married and settled down. Started off as an apprentice toolmaker when I left the technical school, and that's how I first came to this college. The firm sent me on a day release course.
My mother used to talk about the time when, during the slump before the war, when you really had to be good to get a good job, and I think we're perhaps going back to that now, only for a different reason, because of the machines, instead of because there just isn't enough employment for everyone. There won't be because of the machines, so we'll all have to be good.
Industry ought to train as many people as it makes redundant, if the firm is large enough to take it, and if not, the training should be subsidised by the government. Qualifications are almost absolutely necessary now to get into the firm I'm working at anyway as an apprentice, coming from school. so they're going to be more important when you finish your apprenticeship to get into any other job soon.
You get more individual attention here. When I was at school, I was in a class where there was 30 to 40 in this one class, and now I come into a school now and I've got, say, 20 in one class, and it's more intimate, you know.
You can be genned up to the eyes. You can know everything there is to know at school. And then you go to the pit. So it's no good just having the head full of theory. You've got to know it on the practical side.
The practical side extends now far beyond the skills with pick and shovel to the sensitive handling of powerful machines. For mining has come of our age. Mining has come of age. Muscle has been magnified, the machine has extended human reach and power, and now the brain itself seeks extension, and thought is taking wing. Learning is harboured in many places, in the old lanes of Devonshire, where the bright scarves of a school are the banners of its forward march in this time of technological acceleration. Hele's Grammar School, an old school in a new building. The recorded languages of the earth, communication, the tenuous line to our own beginnings, the Socratic dialogue between teacher and pupil, ancient path of the lucky few, and now, in this age, held by them in trust for us all. In good schools of all kinds, the mind is free to reach towards its potentials. Knowledge is an open thing, imagination never despised. Here, the delicate control systems of tomorrow will grow from simple beginnings. Here, ancient virtues are respected, but suspected too, and so are remade in the spirit of our time. Art has no dominion, nor science either, but both are imagination. And out of this, the brain begins to create brain. The beginnings are puny. The end is the stars. Sighting the distant nebulae of our own future holds its dangers. The light that dances before our eyes dazzles. But the future cannot be stopped. It is here. The brain of man is at the beginning of its own amplification. Automatic control is taking over. Down there, the riches of primeval time are already surrendering to the reflexes of man-built circuits. The machines have been taught to control themselves, but men must still shape the future. It is for them to choose whether the future shall be their own or whether to allow technological evolution to outstrip them. Meanwhile, it is a human world we live in. Men make it. The machine must serve. And an old energy falls before it to bring warmth to all our lives. In today's world, as tomorrow comes, the ancient kingdom of coal burns with a bright new flame.